What is up, everybody? My name is Rachel and welcome to Mental Health Monday. Theme song needs some work. But if this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is a place where we talk all things mental health. And we talk about tips, tricks, resources, and tools that are both physically and spiritually impactful for your life. I just want to thank everybody that has been so supportive, and special shout out to the person that lent me this beautiful camera, because I don't know if you've noticed the upgrade from last week. Last week was shot on like an iPhone camera that was sideways, and it was just a challenge, and had the resolution of one of those cameras you built in first grade out of a toilet paper roll to like view the sun. I was super grateful for the person that lent me their beautiful camera, and just thankful for all you guys that have just been so supportive and had such incredible feedback. So today we are talking all about anxiety. Now this is a conversation that we have a lot, but a conversation that we actually don't have a lot. And maybe you've wrestled with the question, do I have anxiety? Do I have anxiety disorder? And I think this is an important conversation to have, because we often don't differentiate between normal anxiety and an anxiety disorder. And so we're all just saying we have anxiety, but with no frame of reference. So what is it? So anxiety is your body's response to a stressor. We all have anxiety. I know, your world is blowing up, your mind is exploding, buildings are burning behind you. But anxiety is something that we all have. So your body has this thing called the autonomic nervous system. We're gonna go straight physiology here because I love science and So you have this autonomic nervous system, but within the autonomic nervous system, there's two other systems called the parasympathetic nervous system, which all has to do with resting and digesting, all those functions related to those two things. And then you have your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response. And no, your sympathetic nervous system is not just a system that feels bad for you. I thought that was really funny. You probably didn't, but that's fine. So the sympathetic nervous system is all about your fight or flight response. So when your body encounters a stressor, your fight or flight response within your sympathetic nervous system is triggered. So what happens is that triggers your adrenal glands to release something called catecholamines, which is epinephrine and norepinephrine, or adrenaline. And so it's releasing these things, and you have body responses like an increased heart rate, rapid breathing, dilated pupils, sweating, all these things. And it's in response to a stressor. It's essentially your body saying, this thing is putting you in danger, so get the heck out of there. It's a fight or flight response. It's like if you came across a bear and it was like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be around this bear because that's dangerous. So I'm gonna do everything within you to get you out of there. So we all have this sympathetic nervous response, this fight or flight response to stressors. But the problem that I'm seeing today is that we're actually not differentiating between an anxiety response that's normal and anxiety disorders. So today I want to talk a little bit about the difference. 25% of people have an anxiety disorder. That's 1 in 4 people that have a diagnosed anxiety disorder. That is a staggering number, and that's why it's so important that we talk about this. But you don't have to have a disorder in order to have an anxious response to something, or even go through an anxious period in your life. So it's important that we also talk about that. So what's the difference? What's the difference between normal anxiety and an anxiety disorder? So in normal anxiety, there is a stressor. So whether it be an exam, a bear, or something that has happened, that's a stressor. It's something that is a direct relation to your anxiety, something that is actually causing your anxiety. It's also fleeting, so that anxiety comes with the stressor and leaves with the stressor. The response is proportional, so it's realistic. It's something that makes sense within that situation. But with an anxiety disorder, there may or may not be a stressor. Their fight or flight response can just be triggered at any time and not necessarily have a reason. And maybe there is a stressor, but their response is disproportional to the stressor. That anxiety can last weeks. So maybe you have an exam and you've been experiencing anxiety weeks before and weeks after. it's disproportional, it's an unrealistic response, but the important thing to note here is that it interrupts activities of daily living. So this is something that interrupts them daily. So that's normal anxiety and an anxiety disorder. And I have so many people coming to me and say, I have anxiety, I have anxiety, I have anxiety. So it's super important that we make this distinction. But I also think it's important to know that even if you don't have a disorder, it's okay to reach out and get help. It's okay to say, I am feeling really anxious and I need some support here. That's okay. I also want to talk about something that we don't love to talk about. Some of us start to claim our anxiety as our identity and resolve that it'll never change. This is just who I am. This is just a part of me. It'll never change. You are more than your anxiety. You are more than your disorder. It is not who you are. When you start to view your life through the lens of your disorder or through your anxiety, that's a very dangerous road to be on. Because what happens is you don't develop coping skills. If you've just resolved this is who you are and it's a part of your identity, then you won't develop coping skills. And coping is how we manage stress. Because although our sympathetic nervous system response is an unconscious response, once it starts, we can regain control by using coping skills and mechanisms. But they're just that, they're skills that need to be developed, they need to be practiced. And it's not easy, it is not simple, and I'm not trying to simplify it here. It's complex, it's the most difficult thing, but it's important to know that coping skills are available. You can develop them. You are not without hope. You can live a long, successful life. And I'm a firm believer in that because of my own journey, which I'll probably share in the weeks to come. You are more. You were made for more. You are made with a purpose. God has incredible plans for you. And I'm tired of seeing people with anxiety be robbed of the joy that has been set before them. So I want to encourage you to reflect. When you're feeling anxious, I want you to reflect on the situation around you. Is there a stressor? When was the last time that I ate? When was the last time that I ate something nutritious? That isn't a super important component that we don't talk about and we're just gonna save for a different day because that's like a big old can of worms. When was the last time that you slept? How long are you sleeping? Are you staying up all hours of the night watching Netflix? I just hurt someone's feelings there. When was the last time that you went outside? When was the last time you connected with a friend? These are all things that we need to be considering for our mental health. Reach out to someone, call a helpline. There's so many resources out there that you can access. Last but not least, don't go through this alone. Find a community, get plugged in somewhere, because community is such an important part of maintaining our mental health. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was both physically and spiritually impactful for your life. Make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, put a review on TripAdvisor, Yahoo, Google, Ask Jeeves. I don't know these things, guys. It's all new to me, but because y'all are better at the internet, so great. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'll have a special guest on. We're gonna be talking about grief and trauma, and I cannot wait. It's gonna be great. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and yeah, that's about it, I think.